All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are doing another recent runner technical analysis video looking at TRKA and XELA. It's been about a week exactly since I've covered this thing, and look, I would pretty much say this thing acted exactly as expected, right? A lot of emphasis was put on this 76 line, and yeah, definitely opened above here, but closed well under. And then from there, nothing but trading under the 8 and losing moving averages, okay? Definitely a bit of a technical reason that this thing did bounce, all right? I will say I don't think it was much of a randomness that this 16% hit, but if it didn't, I'll say it was going to probably come down a 15, if not worse. So it was very much needed. But again, before we get into the details, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like and subscribe. It does very well with the YouTube algorithms, but even if you don't, just thank you so much for watching these, okay? And then if you disagree with any of my opinions here, please throw it in the comments, all right? I am not perfect, I am not all-knowing, and yeah, if your opinions are better than mine, honestly, you'll help me, you'll help some viewers. It's a two-way street here, you know what I mean? So let's get into the details. So look, what was I talking about at the beginning of this? Look, generally speaking, it's really hard to lose two lines when they're this close together. You can see that same thing was here, and the reason it lost it is just it literally gapped down and just like, don't worry about these two, I'm already down here, right? Generally, two lines together should be hard to lose. They're hard to break up and they're hard to break down, right? What ends up happening is yesterday's candle falls under all 5 moving averages. That's a really bad thing, but I always say wait for confirmation. Okay, because yeah, sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time you should come down this way. However, you can't know based on one single candle, and that one's a little more doji than ideal for my liking, right? But nonetheless, just because you're below doesn't mean it's a dark days are ahead, right? This is a good example of good confirmation hitting. Now, am I happy? Am I bullish here? No, I'm for sure not, right? Like, look, at the very minimum, we are 2, 4, we're 7 days under the 8 moving average. We're 5 days under the 20 moving average. Like, that's not where I want my money, right? I think, hey, look, like, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a red that might come, but yeah, we haven't even cracked that 25-cent line, let alone the 50, right? So, look, if anything, maybe there's a decent day trade that could like potentially oh look, that's exactly at the 8 moving average. I'm not sure we're getting over the 8 moving average on this bump. I don't see it, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of meme love and a lot of volume can do some stuff. Like, that's definitely a nice little increase. It was definitely over the 50 moving average. That is important. This thing has done back-to-back volumes a couple times. This is a bad day, obviously, but yeah, it is actually more, right? So there should be about the same amount, if not more, volume tomorrow. So it is possible. And I'll say this much. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for 26 cents. I actually would. Because don't get me wrong, a move from 26 cents to 31 cents is actually pretty big. Just take a look right here. It only took a couple pennies to bring a double-digit gainer home, right? So I'm just keeping my expectations very realistic. I really don't think we're breaking the 8, let alone do I think we're going to break the 8 and the 20, given how close they are. From there, we have the 200, the last one, the hardest one right there too, right? So I'm kind of disregarding this red. I am. And I think I'm putting a lot of emphasis right here. I'm not sure if 31 will break. Again, it's also the top of this guy. And then I'm not too sure that 35 will break. I think that's probably a pretty realistic max. Maybe we wick it to 38 tomorrow. I could see that happening, okay? But yeah, I'm still leaning a little pessimistic. Now, as always, if this bad boy decides to break over the 8 tomorrow, if it actually closes up here, right? I don't care if it wicks up here and then comes down. That like this means nothing. This doesn't mean we're trying to test the 8 and just it's okay. We came back. Like, no, that's horrible, right? So If we close here, okay, that's a different story. If we close here really close to the 8 but not over it, honestly, I'm still not going to be happy. Like, I need this to get over the 8. Again, that's just my trading strategy, right? For me, get over the 8 is where I'll just consider you. From there, I'm hoping things are good down here and a couple other factors, right? But from there, hey, get over the 8 and the 20 is that much better, right? So again, just kind of at least giving you some better perspective than fanboy. Obviously, this thing cracks 25. Yeah, I would not mind riding that if if it's there and the timing works out. But do I believe we're going to see something like this again where it's just a bunch of green candles in a row going up sustained? I don't know, right? And you can see this all happens over the 8, over the 20, over all of them actually, right? Not where we're at right now. So I still need more. And look, I actually have no new horizontal lines to draw, right? Because I actually, again, need confirmation tomorrow. Just as much as, hey, I needed confirmation that we lost the 100, I actually need confirmation that we broke the 100. Right? Like if we close here tomorrow under that blue line, oh, that's horrible. I'm back to assuming down here. I pretty much need to close at the minimum at like 26 cents. I think if we can close above that 25-cent line that I put, that would be all right. It would be a little bit of a doji. If I had to like guess what the thing would look like, right? It would probably look like a candle like this if it closed right about here, right? But it'll at least get us over the 50 as well and puts the emphasis on the day after, right? So that's kind of what I'm coming into this. Again, I'm setting my expectations realistic. I'm giving myself a higher criteria, right? Because again, you're the only one that cares about your money. And the last thing you want to do is just throw it in because it looks good and then just, pray when you go to sleep and wake up, right? Like set a plan, make it earn it, right? And yeah, for me, if you can cross 26, that's probably a considerable intraday play. If you can close up here, that's where I'll start thinking multiple days, all right? And again, if you break the 200, we'll start talking about 76 cents. If you fail the 100, we'll start talking about 15 cents. End of the day, if you watch my videos, I hate stocks that are in horizontal clusters because what ends up happening is you kind of like oscillate. You'll go up, then down, then up, then down. You know what I mean? And right now, another thing I really care about is, look, this is the top. This is the middle. This is clearly the bottom. How high up this are we going to go? Are we going to start to like maybe get here and start trading in this upper quadrant? Are we going to actually just kind of go to the middle and come back down? Are we even just going to stay in this lower quadrant and go like anything can happen in a horizontal cluster? I really hate them. I personally prefer I'm going to do it again just in case, you know what? Wait, let's make sure I know what the number is. Yeah, 44. I'm going to set an alert at 46 cents, a couple of pennies over that 200. That's definitely when I'm way more interested in this stock. In these lines, honestly, it's more about, hey, what does my day look like? What does the major markets look like? What does volume look like? And maybe we'll do something intraday, okay? So, yeah, I think that's pretty good here. Again, I don't think there's too much to talk about in the weekly. We're at the end of the week, right? Like there's only another day tomorrow. I need Friday to, okay, so on the last one, I said 26 cents would be good. We actually need to close at 27.28 because that'll put us over the 8 moving average on the weekly. And it'll put us a little bit over the 50 and actually better confirmation if we can close at 27.28. So that is actually the must close for tomorrow. I'm not drawing a new line, but just keep that one in your back pocket. 27.28. And let's be honest, we want closer to 28 than 27, right? So, man, I spent 9 minutes on this. Let's look at XELA real quick. Let's see if I got to make a new video or just do this here. All right. Honestly, I think the exact same thoughts are happening here. I will draw this line. Oh man, again, my problem is I don't see more than the 2 decimals. That's one of the things with the system, right? But I would put a lot of emphasis on this 3/8 candle. I'm not too sure we're going to break that. If we do, again, I'm not too sure we're crossing the 8 moving average. And again, all this is in the 5-cent window. So we're talking about the 3rd and 4th decimal place here, right? So Nonetheless, though, just remember what this stock does. All it does, as I zoom out, is trade under the 8 and the 20, under the 8 and the 20, under the 8 and 20, and look where we're at. We're under the 8 and the 20. Just, I, you know what I mean? Like, don't these, like, I don't even have the words, you know what I mean? Like, well, I'm gonna just do it one more time. That's all I'm gonna do is zoom out, right? Like, I'm not making this up. All it's done is trade under those two lines, and it's now back deeper under, right? So just again, that's really all I got to say on XELA. This was very much a video on the first one. So, and you know what the weekly looks like if the daily looks like that, right? All we have done is trade under the 8. We've never even talked about the 20. And this time, instead of trying to, we're actually going back a little bit lower. So, yeah. All right. Hey, I appreciate your time so much. I'm sorry I was a little bit more of a hater on this one than I try to be unbiased, but like, come on, when there's a tire fire, what do you want me to say? It doesn't smell like smoke here, right? But nonetheless, you know I appreciate your time. If you disagree with anything, throw it in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you.